Hello, it's Dr. Brian McDonough, and welcome to installment number 174 of A Doctor in the Pandemic. Today, I want to talk a little bit about sports and COVID, in particular the Philadelphia Phillies and the New York Yankees. Today, I had an opportunity to join a popular sports talk show in New York City on WFAN radio called Moose and Maggie. I've been on there a number of times during the pandemic talking, of all things, COVID. I really don't get to talk about the sports, which would be fun, but you're not going to bring me on a show for that. But they did want me to talk about the New York Yankees and the fact that a game had to been canceled because 6 Yankees had tested positive for COVID. And the question came up, how can you get COVID if you've had the vaccine? And it's a great question, and I thought I really haven't addressed this in our segments here, and so I wanted to. Here's the deal. The vaccines, depending on which ones they are anywhere from 70 to 90% effective, which is really good, actually. But what they don't do is protect everyone in all situations from getting COVID. So you can have the vaccine and you can contract COVID. But here's the difference. If you get COVID, you don't get really sick. In fact, you might not even know you have it. You certainly don't end up in the hospital and you don't end up in the ICU. In other words, it's a lifesaver. And if it isn't just a lifesaver, if you're young, you don't end up with situations like a chronic cough or respiratory problems or neurologic issues that can haunt you for years. We have no idea how long many of these effects will last. So the following question was, well, if that's the case, why are people not getting vaccinated? And I gave the obvious answer. People have to make their choices. I try to persuade people to get the vaccine. I've had my family get it, my patients get it. But if not, it's like I'm talking to someone saying, don't smoke cigarettes, wear seatbelts in your car, don't drink to excess. It's one of those things. People are going to make their choices. But I do want to say once again, what the ball players are doing actually is bringing out a very important issue. When we first came out with the pandemic information and we learned, and if you go back to A Doctor in the Pandemic, the first 10, 15 episodes, you'll see we were figuring things out, and we certainly stressed the fact that it seemed older people, people with chronic illnesses, people with pre-existing conditions did the worst, and that has held through the pandemic. But what we didn't know at the time was the dramatic impact it had on young and healthy people, and the fact that it was like playing roulette. You could end up with something that could haunt you forever. And I don't think we got that message across. So I did want, in today's installment, to get that message across. If you're watching these and you listen, please understand, if you're in that 30-year-old age group, 35, 28, if you're in that age group and you've chosen not to get vaccinated for whatever reason, especially if you're not getting vaccinated because you think, I'll be fine, we can't guarantee that. In fact, I'm worried that you won't be. And when you look at what's happening in other states, and we've talked about this, there's a high rate of hospitalizations. Many of these people are young. So think about the vaccine. It's still emergency use authorization, but it's going to be approved any day. And the thing is, all the studies are showing it's safe. And I wouldn't be telling you this if I didn't think it was something that could protect you, your family, and others.